Alaska is a vast area full of history and tradition. The history is colorful. It's the story of what used to be. But the traditions of the past live on in many forms. The Eskimos lived from the land, and everything they ate, wore, lived in, or traveled on had to be fashioned from nature. In order to create even the simplest articles, the Eskimo craftsmen invented interesting and practical tools, many of which are still in use today. Of all the innovative tools that came from the Eskimo culture, one is the foremost, the Alaska Ulu Knife. The Ulu Knife was their main cutting tool. It was originally made from flat, thin rocks, slate, or even jade. Handles were fashioned out of wood, ivory, or bone, and often decorated with distinctive markings of the craftsman. Eskimo people used the ulu for everything from skinning seals to sewing mukluks, the Eskimo boots, the ugruk, to eating muktuk seal and blubber. As time progressed and whaling ships were common in Alaska waters, the Eskimo took advantage of the new materials available to him, steel. Instead of using rocks, the native Alaskans made even better ulu knives, sharper and varied in design that just made it better. The ulu is still used traditionally, especially when the salmon are abundant in the summer. Not only natives, but white people and Indians alike rely on the ulu for everyday cutting needs. Many of the ancient ulus can be seen in museums and private collections, such as the ones here in the Ulu factory. Many of the ancient pieces found deep in the permafrost still have prehistoric feathers and animal fat attached to them.
Here's a especially nice piece that archaeologists estimate to be well over 3,000 years old. It has a decorated ivory handle and a slate blade that's still sharp enough to be used. Hi, and welcome to the Ulu Factory. I'm David Gransberry, and for almost 25 years, we've been making the most distinct product of the North, the Alaska Ulu. We started off in a small one-car garage on the east side of Anchorage. Now our over 12,000 square foot facility manufactures what we believe is the best quality and widest selection of ulu knives to be found anywhere. Now that you know a little bit about the history of the ulu, I'd like to share with you the lengths that we go to in producing a quality ulu knife. The most important part of any knife is the blade.
We begin the production process by selecting the highest quality American stainless steel available. The 3,000-pound coils unwind a ribbon of steel that is fed through our 100-ton punch press. This creates the basic shape of the ulu blade. The bevel edge is then shaped to a precise angle. For steel to hold a good edge, it must be heat treated to 1950 degrees Fahrenheit in our computer-controlled furnace. We then polish the surfaces to a mere finish using several different compounds and polishing wheels. Then, after the blade is hardened and polished, we grind or hone the edge using a special 16-inch stone. This must be done under a constant flow of coolant to preserve the hardness of the edge.
The blade's important, but we take great care in making the many different handles. Our Alaska birch and American walnut are the most popular.
We use state-of-the-art equipment to shape each handle to exact specification. Every handle is treated to several finishing operations and, along with a quality inspection, receives its final coat of oil and is packaged for presentation.
So you can see that our first concern is in making high-quality cutlery and a great Alaskan artifact. The reason the ulu's been around for so long is because it's so functional.
The first thing that comes to mind is filleting fish. Everybody knows how good the ulu is for that. But the ulu is really a very versatile kitchen tool, good for cutting all sorts of meats, vegetables, and cheeses. Here's how you use it. Grip the handle in the palm of the hand with the bevel side away from you. Place the item to be cut on the cutting board and just use a rocking motion. It's a great way to begin using your ulu. You'll develop other techniques as you go along, depending upon what it is you're cutting and how fine you want it. Another great way to use your ulu is with our block and bowl. It's a cutting board on one side and a bowl on the other. The unique part about the bowl is that the blade fits perfectly in the curvature of the bowl. This lets you use the full edge of the blade when cutting or chopping. The more you experiment with your ulu, the handier it will become. It'll be like having a mini food processor without the cleanup and mess. To maintain a good cutting edge, you should hone its edge occasionally, depending on what you've been cutting. It's only necessary to sharpen it on the bevel side. The hard stone or steel works just as well. And when you're through with your ulu, just rinse it off with warm soapy water, wipe it dry, and put it in a safe place. Remember to always cut on a cutting board or bowl, and never put your ulu in the dishwasher. A little oil on any wood handle never hurts.
So I guess you can tell that we're proud of our ulu knife, its heritage, and hope you will be too. We know there are other ulus out there to choose from. Heck, they're coming in from all over the place. So we're glad you chose a real Alaska Ulu, made with all USA products. Well, thanks for sharing a little time with us. We really hope that you've learned a little bit more about the Ulu knife. And by the way, if you're ever in Anchorage, stop by and say hi.